Good morning, our people. Welcome to the program. As usual, we're having the technological issues and we are trying to deal with it accordingly. But of course, we are always excited to see you guys and converse and bring more information that can make us more informed citizens, right? So that we can make informed decisions. Our lives are endangered, our children' future being trouble is being ugh, trampled upon. So we are here today to bring you the good news that is a way out. And as long as you know your position in this struggle, we'll get to a destination faster than you can ever imagine. So welcome to our program. Please help us to share, like, subscribe, hit the notification buttons, and please, as we're doing the show, because I've heard other people say, keep hitting that like button. It helps to it helps to disorganize their algorithm so that some other people can see this video. As usual, please help us to share always, because we need to get home. We need to get home fast. A lot of places that we found ourselves in, they've turned into Babylons, and we need to take our children to a safe zone. So please, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Mona Chimsaga, and I will allow my sister to jump in.
Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you, our viewers. Those stumbling on this video for the first time, you're welcome. And those that always come here um, every Saturday, you are also welcome. My name is Dr. AP Simon Okube. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. So, like my sister has said, we are here to inform our people, to empower our people so that they will know what their right is and how to exercise it the right way. Thank you so much. I'll continue to share as well. Like, follow us, and like your teammates we always tell you that you're part of this work. So please share, like, subscribe. Those on YouTube, subscribe and hit the notification button so that once we come on or drop any video, you will be the first to be alerted. So please, this work we'll do it together. Share. Like. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sister AP. So I'm continuing to share. Last week they did not allow us to use our regular page. So please help us to share and like. We appreciate you. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Like we say, continue to help us to share and like and subscribe and all the things that we need to do. Oh, somebody just texted me. I can't find your show. Okay. I will be sending it to you right now. Um, all right. So help us to share, help us to like, and all those nice things that we need to do to get this news across. So, our topic today is state your position in history. State your position in history. We know that when things are happening, life is busy. There is, especially back home, there is hunger in the land. People are trying to struggle, but at the end of the day, I want to be able to look back, and or we want to be able to look back. We want our children to be able to look back and say, what have you accomplished? I get amazed by what I was told about my grandmother, about my no great grandmother. Take it back. What she did in order to preserve her only son. When things were happening, people were wailing, crying, feeling helpless. The widow stood up and saved her only son. So this is the same kind of position that we find ourselves in. What are you doing in this dire situation that we're in? What is your position? So, in the face of atrocities committed against innocent people in Benue, Southern Kaduna, Plateau, Nasarawa, and other places, a crucial question arises, which is, what would you be remembered for? The decision of the past have shaped who we are today, but the sorrow and irrevocable decision we make now will be remembered tomorrow as revolutions. This is according to acclaimed author John Green. Amidst the horrifying acts of ethnic cleansing and the pain inflicted on the innocent victims by those driven by hatred, it becomes paramount to take a stand, which means on whose side do you choose to stand by? Would you remain a silent witness to the sufferings and or become a voice for justice and compassion? In these moments of life and death, as the nation grapples with deep-seated conflict, we know that some of our brothers and sisters are prioritizing trivial matters and more interested in making their videos go viral on social media versus addressing the ill effects in our land. While some of them look the other way and pretend like they are helpless. What about you? What is your position? So today we can empower the indigenous peoples to reclaim their sovereignty, ancestral lands, and resources through the NINAS Union reconfiguration and template. This transformative initiative has reached a critical threshold, offering an inevitable transition in the face of chaos resulting from the flawed 2023 electoral voyage. Would you be able to join this movement and play the role that is necessary for our freedom? As history unfolds, generation will come to reflect on these times, seeking answers about what individual did and their positions. What would you be remembered for? Will you be a catalyst for a positive change, a voice against injustice, or fade into obscurity overshadowed by apathy? Now is the moment to claim your position in history. Embrace self reflection, contextualize your experience, and nurture a collective identity that stands for the truth, justice, and well being of all. Learn from the lessons of the past to shape a better future and leave a legacy of compassion, unity, and progress. As the innocent suffered and the world looks on, your actions matter. So make a decision that will resonate throughout history. Stand up and be counted, and let future generations know that you stand on the side of justice, compassion, and retrieval of sovereignty. So join us today as we give you again, remind you of the work that Ninas has done, what is needed for us to get where we're going, give you even history as to where we are today, like our president, our president will say, or vice president will say. So we are going to play the first video of the day. of our brother once again telling us what is needed to get us to our destination. We keep reminding you guys that the Christmas present is at your doorstep. All we're asking you to do is to open up the door, grab it, and guess what? Open it up for your freedom. Freedom is near you. Or you're the one holding on to it. You're the one holding on to your damnation. You're the one holding on to whatever sufferings that we are going through right now. We have the resources, we have the ideas, we have the templates, we have the strategies, we have everything that we need to get out of that place or hell called Nigeria. So let me find the video of the day while my sister add on.
Thank you so much. We have everything we need. Please help us to continue to share, like, subscribe. Hit the button about like, please, so that this information can get out to our people. We need information. Our people need information, accurate information, because for you to get what you want, you need to know how to do it, how to go through the process, because there's a process. It's not something you sleep and wake up, somebody has done it for you. It's a process, and all of us need to be part of it. If we're ready, I will stop. Thank you.
Have we achieved by clinging on to this constitution to the extent that another election has now happened, against the council not to, from Ninas? And people are running their mouth about who is going to, who stole whose mandate. The mandate that was stolen, the first mandate that was stolen, so that we can make things clear, is the mandate of the alliance we built for freedom of the trapped constituent components. We spent 20 years to build an alliance of the South and Middle Belt to free all of the peoples of the South and Middle Belt from the bondage, the caliphate bondage that has that has framed itself as unitary Nigeria. But some of our dishonest elders, and I know it's a heavy word to use, I use that word advisedly. Some of our dishonest elders found a way to present that alliance as one for seeking power. South and Middle Belt Leadership Forum and all kinds of other conjectures depicting coming together of the South and Middle Belt. But for the purpose of seeking political power as president of Nigeria. They found, again, dishonest church leaders. And I mean that one even more seriously. Dishonest church leaders whom we had gone to share what the problem was with, but who decided to hijack that mandate of freedom to now go to election, sacrifice it on the altar of power. They want power as president instead of freedom for their people. That's how we got to going into election. Of course, they found sufficient numbers of ill-informed and ignorant young people who do not know that the constitutional arrangement was the main problem and not the question of leadership, for which reason they rallied around Peter Obi to provide a different kind of leadership. Of course, rallied by people like Pat Utomi, who was telling them that it was all about leadership. And we saw when Peter Obi came, knowing the truth, but came to tell them that the constitution is not the problem. It is leadership I'm going to provide. And then citing animal farm type of statistics all over the place. We have to speak these difficult truths to let us know that we have a mandate that was stolen to drag us to election to preserve the constitution imposed by the enemy, so that those who are pursuing after that power will get to government house by swearing to defend and uphold the constitution that enslaved their own people. Every attempt to get them to see that there was no road in where they were going got rebuffed. Here we are. So when they talk about stolen mandate, to us, in this fight that is going on about who will win, both of them are like two robbery gangs fighting over what was taken from us. And our interest is in recovering that thing that was taken from us. And therefore, the mandate they are talking about is already a stolen property. The fact that they want to convert it in a manner they can use it, that is political power, does not remove anything from the substantive charge of a mandate that was taken. And so we will now have to invite, for the purpose of the transition we are talking about, the transition that we must now go to, instead of proceeding with outcome of election and coronating somebody to come and continue to govern with the constitution we reject. That transition, we now expressly invite the candidates. Both candidates, Bola Tinubu and Peter Obi, must now surrender their so-called mandates and reinvest same into the union reconstruction imperative, the transitioning to rework the constitutional basis of Nigeria. We invite Peter Obi to reinvest, to surrender and reinvest that mandate that is now in controversy back into the liberation of the people. What do we mean? He has to, the same way he announced that constitution was not the problem, Peter Obi has to, if he is on the side of the people that have been tormented under this constitution, he has to come publicly and say to the hearing of the whole world that the constitution of Nigeria, the unitary constitution of Nigeria as imposed, is the problem that needs to be solved. That the mandate, the election has happened, everybody saw that he won the election. But he has to surrender that mandate now for the purpose of addressing the constitutional anomaly by himself. On the same count, we invite candidate Tinubu, who knows the truth about what the problem is, because he was in Nadeko. There's nothing we need to explain to him in all of whatever you hear Ninas is saying, because it was from Nadeko. The conveners of Nadeko were the same conveners of Pronaco, Enohoro, Shoyinka. You know the rest of them. Those conveners carried on with the task of reworking the constitutional basis of Nigeria after the soldiers left in 1999. And Tinubu was governor in Lagos. He wasn't a stranger to all of how it became what it became, going from Pronaco to now MNN that went to court in 2007 to say that the constitution was a fraud. From there, the nationalities began to come. From after their solemn assemblies, in which they repudiated that constitution by themselves, Port Harcourt in 2015, Ibadan 2017, Makurdi in 2018, nationalities from across these three alliance blocks rejecting that constitution as basis of Nigeria, we then became Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. And look at what has happened. The Hausa have now risen up in Kano and Sokoto and elsewhere to say we're indigenous nationalities, we're an indigenous nationality, and that the Fulani are invading us, killing us, taking our land. And so it could be called a countrywide consensus. So that countrywide consensus that now needs to be enforced to wind down the operation of this apartheid constitution imposed by that invading Fulani. Tinubu must now stand with his people or stand with the enemy. If he wants to stand with his people, he should by himself surrender the mandate from this election and reinvest that mandate in the task of liberating his people. The Yoruba are fed up with what Nigeria is dishing out to them. Nigeria is dragging them back into Stone Age. And if Tinubu is standing with the constitution that enslaved Yoruba in Yoruba land, let it be clear to him that that's the choice he's making in trying to be president under that constitution. And when we look back in history, we will see that this type of fight we have seen now, in which Peter Obi and Tinubu will fight to finish, who set up the fight? The same caliphate. Did we not see it happen in the 60s, even the 50s? Awolowo, Azikiwe, who became the beneficiary? The same people that set up the fight. We saw the Akintola era. The same people that set up the fight presided. Here we are again. Can't we learn? And so we are saying, Ninas is saying on behalf of this alliance, that what we must do now is to get on the side of our people by ourselves. Because if we don't, the alliance is not going to, we said it before the elections, that we're not going to pay any attention. The winner of 2023 election will find out that there's no Nigeria to govern. I'm sure there's a video to that effect. If you doubt me, go on YouTube and search winner of 2023 election will find no Nigeria to govern on YouTube. So you can see the reasoning that predated the election by almost 8 months at least, if not 1 year, where we were warning them at the time they were banding.
You can hear that all these politicians, all of them, APC, PDP, Labour, all of them are aware of what our people are going through. They are all aware, but they chose their own personal aspiration, their power, their quest for power, so that they will say, oh, I'm the president. They choose to fight to finish just to get power, not to solve the problem of the people. Nope. Since the people were colonized, since they were balkanized, power was taken away from them. And the colonial masters stopped discussing with the natives, with the owners of the land. Rather, they imposed a rulership, a government that they by themselves chose. Now they have left. Why are we still doing this to our people? Why can't we sit down and negotiate in such a way that our people will be comfortable in their own land with the resources that the Lord has blessed them with? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why are we enslaving our own people? Why are we denying our own people their own identity? Why do we want them to refuse to, like, this is not who I am, to deny who they are and become something else? Don't you know the implication of identity crisis? Please, can you go ahead?
Psychosis. That's what you're going to have. Very unstable people. You have to deny yourself.
Exactly.
All kinds of theories around about what the miracle they will come to perform when they come as president. With a constitution that enslaves us, they have become the #1 enemies of the people, because we were on the verge of taking down that monster in terms of blocking the journey to election to compel a resolution of the union dispute. They were the ones who offered the lifeline, dragging us to election that will be conducted by the Fulani. They've conducted the election. They are waiting for you in court. But we are not spectators in the matter. It is our sovereignty, it is our lives, it is our livelihood, it is our future that is at issue. And so we are inviting these two candidates today. Ninas is inviting these two front line candidates to reinvest the mandate that came from the election into the task of liberating their people from the bondage of the 1999 Constitution. Let them say that Constitution is the problem so that we can go to transition now instead of quarreling over which of them will become president. If they do not do that, the people are going to carry on in their efforts at liberating themselves from that constitution. But let these two candidates know for sure that they will be on the side of the enemy when things get worse, because things are bound to get worse except sanity returns early enough or soon enough. Let us make hay while the sun shines. Surrender this mandate, Tinubu, Peter Obi, for the sake of your people that have been in bondage, that are going to remain in bondage. If this constitution survives, your place in history will be that you aided the enemy to beat down your people because you wanted power at the time they were seeking freedom. It is the effort they had made to become free that you have gone to sacrifice to gain power for yourselves. Not on their behalf, because you're not going to be able to do anything for them under that constitution. Otherwise, ask Obasanjo why he didn't turn the fortunes of everybody of Yoruba land around while he was president. Or ask Jonathan why he didn't turn the fortunes of the Ijaw around while he was president. What is that Nigeria that is now paramount? Why can't we define that Nigeria? There was a federation of Nigeria. If that is what we are trying to build now, I'll be the first on the construction site. But if it is the unitary Nigeria that is owned by the Fulani, the unitary Nigeria of master and servant, I tell you, we owe it an urgent duty to ourselves and the generation unborn to put that monster to death, that monster of unitary Nigeria created by that constitution. And all of you are, jumping around to try to go to swear to defend and uphold that constitution embodying that monster. You better dress back and think. The fight you are having now amongst yourself will be a child's play when you come face to face with the owners of the sovereignty you are hijacking, standing with the enemy. We stop there. Without further delay, except we want to forget the union in its entirety.
All right. I try to hold myself every time I hear Brother Tony spend his time to tell us why we are where we are. And people are not paying attention. They are busy saying things, it can never happen, it will not change, you will not do this. Some of them will even go as far as saying, oh, I've heard of our constitution, but I don't know who Tony is. The lies is just keeping us from getting to our destination. When are we going to do the right thing, people? We have the information that we need to liberate ourselves. What is stopping us from getting it done? Are we that, what is the word? Are we that demented? Are we that, like we've lied to ourselves for so many years, we don't even know who we are anymore. Oh, I forgot. We all have identity crisis. We don't know who we are anymore. This is insane. How do we allow an enemy, the colonial terrorists, to come into our country, our nations, give it over to one man to build an empire? And we're there looking at them running in circles, knowing that they have told us that they will never allow us to control our destinies. And we're there watching them not allowing us control our destinies. And people are trying to make light of the situation when our children's future is they're all in danger. Like we don't have anything to give to these children. Nothing. Yet we go to church that tells us we're supposed to leave inheritance for our children. What inheritance are we planning to leave for these children when we live under a slave camp?
They're satisfied with crumbs, the little crumbs coming up. And that's why we keep saying the people delaying this project are the elites and the middle class, because they're benefiting from the old system. The poor people who are in majority, they are blocking the information from going to them. But you know what? we will find a way to get the message to our people. And there's nothing you can do about it, because this job we must finish. We must finish this work, because liberating the people is our assignment. We're not here to be playing around with you and your political uniform and whatever you're doing to have fun. We told you time without number that this project is parallel to whatever nonsense you're doing. We're just going to continue. Easy, just keep moving. And more people are getting to know the truth. Because you know what? Truth will prevail over lies, and light
Everything.
will prevail over darkness. This is not the first time. You go to Genesis chapter 1, they said there was darkness covering the whole earth. Well, what was there before darkness came? Something was there, and then darkness came and covered the whole earth. But what did God do? He brought light, and light displaced darkness. So please share this video. Invite your friends, invite your church people, everyone, share this to them. Let them be part of this movement for enthroning light and righteousness over the land, so that the people can prosper. Not just a couple of people, one. No, millions of people will prosper. That is our assignment, and we will finish it. Thank you, my sister. Please go ahead.
Absolutely. We must complete this work. So, as our topic goes today, state your place in history. State your place in history. We know we live in a slave camp. We know that they've told us how we will never ever control our future or our destinies, that they will use whoever not as a willing tool. And then the South, of course, we are the conquered territory. That's why when you go from point A to point B, there's an army checkpoint, because you are under slave camp. You cannot even drive freely in your own indigenous land. You have to be stopped from point A to point B because that you've been captured. And we are making guy about it. We even said when we are driving home, we'll say, oh, let's bring the money we'll be giving them as we are going back home to pay them off. How long are you going to do this? The fear about all of this is that the children that you're giving birth to, I know I've seen all of them. They are not as strong as you are. They will fall into depression at the snap of a finger. They will not be able to live under that oppression. So that means we are giving birth to children that will be wiped out. They are not as strong as we are. They don't have the stamina that we do. And yet we are willing to leave them in a place that will keep them vulnerable. Keep them vulnerable, and will never be able to move forward. So today we're going to look at, we've already looked at the introduction, the theme video, and we're going to look at our common enemy. We know how they package us as a Amazon package and delivered us in front of the Osman Dan Fodio's front door. We know how Nigeria became a terrible and horrific event. We're also going to look at the consequences of 2023 election logjam. And of course, we are going to ask you, what is your page in the annals of Nigeria? What is your state? What is your position? And we cannot end without telling you about the Nina's 5 points agenda. That information is there for us to get where we are going faster. It's not like we're going to scratch our head and it's in one person's pocket and the other person's restroom. No, we have the information that we need to make us a progressive state. And I don't know why people are delaying on it. I don't know why people are not jumping up and say, oh, all this time we thought, now here is something. Go and, why are you guys afraid of examining the information? Like, there is no way, unless if you're insane, unless if you're a criminal, there is no way you can examine what Nina's has on the table that you will not be like, what are we waiting for? And by the way, we are so sure of our project that we're saying, if you have something superior, bring it out. Bring it out. Nobody else will offer you that, will make that statement. If you have anything superior to what we're doing, bring it out. And we cannot end the show without shining spotlights on the wisdom of our ancestors. And today we'll be talking about marriage. So who is our common enemy? We know it's the Britain and the Caliphate, right? The Britain came in the name of colonialism. They came to kill the native people, steal their resources and their ancestral lands. We know that as we are watching, they have closed all the refineries around our area and handed it to Dangote. Even Forbes magazine will tell you the first black billionaire in Africa. Ndori, when they know that he stole our resources and Leno billionaire, does he know how to write his name? But now he's the richest black man in Africa when he's stealing the resources of the people. And you guys are promoting him in your international magazine as Onyemaehe. So look at all the resources you handed over to him, yet Nigeria is one of the poorest nations. And we know why. Or poorest nations, and we know why. It's one of them. Yet we have the biggest billionaire in that place. And the ancestral land and indigenous land that we are talking about, he has been in existence for thousands of years. He belonged to the ethnic peoples, ethnic nations. They were there before, working with the colonial terrorists as, you know, in the name of treaties. They were different and they were independent, and they didn't have any problem with it. It's just that they are so greedy. After they stole our resources, they're like, oh, how can I continue to steal it even when I pretended to have left the environment? That's how lazy they are. That's how dumb they are. You came to steal and kill and destroy. You stole for 500 years. You're so dumb, you cannot manage the resources that you stole for 500 years unabated. How dumb can you be? If somebody allowed me to steal for 1 year, you wouldn't even see me. I'll be living in the moon. They can't manage a wife and 2 kids. With all the resources that they stole, they are drug addicts, they are criminals, they are still looking to incite wars everywhere they go so they can steal more. You can see that they lack the capacity to even lead a dog. They can't even lead, again, a wife and 2 children. So they find it a duty that when they were leaving, they handed us over our resources and our land to their local agents in the name of the caliphate. We know where we are now, right now. Creating poverty everywhere, mismanaging our resources, turning their own children, they can't even allow them to become a human being. They can't even allow them to be a pride of Africa. Because, oh, there are a bunch of these young, fine Africans doing well and, you know, building technology and all these things. They can't even allow them to. It's only to stuff money. If you see where these people are shopping, even heaven will close the cloud because they don't want to see it. We are talking about their girlfriends. 5 million naira is $50,000 or $500,000 can a girlfriend to go and shop in UK. And that's the way they want it. When we come, they will close their shop. I have been a witness to someone that came here in Houston, literally brought a that's a container, park it in front of Sam's and load it up, a human being. Not for business, so for things that they're going to be using. That's how much waste we have in our land when the widows, the orphans, they don't have anything to show in a place that they call home. They have all lost their dignity, doing things that is incomprehensible. We have to move on, people. This is sad. This is pathetic, and it does not have to be. Go ahead, sister.
We have to move on. It does not have to be. Nigeria has become a terrible and horrific event waiting to happen to every Nigerian. They say, when Nigeria happened to you? Yes. So Nigeria is now a horrible event. It's when will it be your turn? It happens to this one, then the other person says, oh, no, it's not me. It's the other one. And we are saying, if the colonial masters treated us shabbily, why can't we treat ourselves and our peoples better? Why? What is stopping us? Why are we just waiting and allowing our people to go through what they're going through? Our people are scattered all over the world. Our people are ready to trek through swim through Mediterranean Sea, trek through deserts, and most of them die under that heat. Go into sex trafficking, prostitution, name it, just to eat. Just to eat. In a land that is flowing with milk and honey. People are satisfied with the little crumbs. Yes, so they built one refinery in a place where you should have 5 refineries. Somebody generated electricity that can serve one estate in a place where you should have tons and tons of electricity. You are able, we are able, but they shackled all of us.
Report.
Crippled all of us, and we are here celebrating what and clapping hand for what? Since the colonial masters left, why can't we renegotiate and reorganize ourselves in such a way that every indigenous ethnic nationality will be taken care of and treated fairly? What is so difficult about it? We've told you here that we are diverse. We are not going to stop being diverse. And we really appreciate people because we're not seeing governors, politicians doing presentation, speak their native language. I saw Governor of Akwa Ibom the other time speaking to his people in their native tongue. My people are not English people. Speak to them in their native tongue. We are tired of this identity crisis. We value our culture and tradition. We will improve on the ones that we need to improve on. We have told you here that westernization is not civilization. Civilization is you improving your culture and tradition, not replacing them with European culture or Western culture. That's not who we are. We're going to have identity crisis, which we're already having. We are seeing our children, they don't know whether they're Africans or they're this or they're that. You see all the mix-up going on. Confused. You see them online. We don't want this identity crisis no more. If the colonial masters have left, which I know they have not really left, because they left their local agents, but we are able to tell the local agents enough. Why do we want to continue with this imposed wrong constitutional arrangement? Sometimes when we talk about constitution, people just think it's just the paper we're talking about. No, it's the arrangement. Constituent, when you say constitutional arrangement, the constituent, the members of that ought to be the members of the union. We were supposed to be autonomous because we are very diverse. We are not one people. We are peoples. We are nations coming together that we should have a union. So we are supposed to have an arrangement that will work for everyone. Even if the ethnic nation that are just 1,000 as population. I don't want a German to become Igbo man. I don't want Isha man to become Yoruba man. Your language is your identity. Speak it. Speak it to your children. However, we want to have an arrangement since we have found ourselves living in this space, coexisting. We want to have arrangement that will make sure that every indigenous ethnic nationality has what it's entitled to have. They are treated well and their people are comfortable. This 36 fragments that they call states is not our project. These 774 pieces that they fractured us and call local government is not us. Because in doing it,
divide and conquer strategy.
Exactly. They maliciously did it to be divide and conquer. So when they put a ruler, they just draw here. Ishan is here. Efik is here. Ijo is here. Everybody is scattered. I told you people that my husband, my late father-in-law in Edo State, goes to Delta for family meeting in Abo. That ought not to be so. We want to arrange our existence so that we stop having wars at border places. Everyday war. This one, we don't want that. It's the slave masters, the colonial masters that did that. We want to rearrange how we stay. Why can't we discard this disputed constitutional arrangement? Why can't we discard it? Why can't this unitary constitution, this unitary 1999 constitution, we're supposed to have federal constitution because we're supposed to be federal republic. So if we are federal republic, we should have federal republic, we have to have federal constitution. I hear some of these lawyers, is it Michael Zoham or whatever, when they're talking, you just say, who gave them law certificates? I'm not a lawyer. And you see them trying to avoid truth. You talk from this side of the mouth, you talk from this side of that, trying to.
Remember, they can speak the colonial master's language, right?
I'm telling you, yet they are the senior advocate of the whole Nigeria, so-called San people. Why can't we dispute? Why can't we discard this false union? If we must be in a union, the right thing to do, if we want to build democracy, is for the people to say, I want to be part of the union. And what are the terms and conditions? We state it so that nobody will kill anybody. My people say, one more, emebuna one madu. One madu, emebuna one more. That's equity. That's balance, justice. So that we can move all at once. Everybody will prosper. All at once. Because everybody needs to move on and have good life. Everybody is the people's right. We are not begging for it. It's the people's right. Rather, what are they doing? We are here repeating cycles of failure and recycling old brain dead politicians. Why are we doing that when we know that we could do better? Nigeria is a horrible event waiting to happen to Nigerians. You might run today, tomorrow it will be your time. Ike Ekweremadu, for about 20 years that he was not hobnobbing with all the people.
Doing well for himself.
Doing well for himself. He did not know a time will come when Nigeria will happen to him. Where is he today? And Nigeria will still happen to all of them because we're telling them, let's fix this thing. Let's fix this place so that it will be good for everybody. They say, no, we're the only ones that can enjoy it. Nigeria will happen to you. We'll talk about the 2023 election logjam. Ninas warned the people, everyone, before now. Going into election under the 1999 Constitution will lead to logjam. You will jam yourself with padlock. You jam yourself inside or outside. Out of your room. They refused because of corruption, because of dishonesty, because of lies. They continue with their sham election. Now they're going on with their sham judicial process. And their sham swearing in and their sham inauguration. Everything is sham, sham, sham.
What about a sham visit to allow me to be the president?
Exactly. Everything is sham, crooked. Crooked election for crooked people. By crooked people, for crooked people with and you get crooked results. And crooked inauguration. And crooked swearing. Everything is crooked. I said, like, what's that song they used to say? Oh, Loja is dead, buried in his grave. So he now hits the mango, whatever, hit the old Loja, and he was walking Sokorachi. So everything is crooked. You're like walking like this. So we are saying that the sham election, sham judicial process, sham swearing in, sham inauguration of the unitary Nigeria are all inconsequential to what the indigenous ethnic nationalities are set to do concerning reclaiming their stolen, confiscated sovereignty, ancestral lands, and assets. That caliphate, Britain, political class, and all the criminals, they gathered together and stole from the people. We said that everything they are doing is inconsequential because we are moving on. We said it before they even went to the election. We said, we are not listening to what you're doing because the land belongs to the people and the people know where their land is. So you are busy going this left, right, and right. We're not saying we are moving on. And the election, the constitution, the unitary union, they are all parallel and they will hit each other. So as the election has become a sham, it will hit the sham constitution and the sham constitution will hit the sham union. Everything will fall in Bakata. Yakata. He said things fall apart and the center cannot hold. Yakata. So as you're managing, I say, let's put it on. It's going to collapse on your heads. We are telling you. You don't want to hear. I say, I want it on the raw. If they tell ear, you know here. When they come out head, the ear go follow the head, they go. The waka. If you want to hear, it's for your own good. So what people will say, what should they do? What should the politicians do? What should these crooked politicians? Because you are the people, they are your brothers. You should be talking to them. Ninas has told them that that's mainly Tinubu and P2B. See them, that are carrying the people's mandate. See the picture there. P2B and Tinubu are carrying the people's mandates. We say, ole, bring the mandates. Go and reverse the people's mandates into liberation movement. What we want is liberation. Ndohi, you see, two criminals are carrying the people's mandates. Please, though, tell P2B and Tinubu, return our mandates. Ndohi nabo. Tinubu is in front, P2B is behind, and they're going. they were carrying the stolen mandates because they think they are smart. What will happen to you will not be from us because you are one. It's time to enforce the countrywide consensus to wind down the apartheid-like 1999 constitution. The way our people came out, it shows that they want change. They're tired of thing you're doing.
Yes.
And we mobilized them. They listened. It's just that they don't know how to go about it. But the people, the elites and the middle class know how to go about it because they can read English and they can understand. But they chose not to do it for the people.
Because they are benefiting. So
yes,
they rather direct the people to a place that will not yield the fruit that they yearn for.
Exactly. See all the money they are paying these judges for this sham judiciary process that they're doing. They'll come out and say, oh, yeah, this process. And they can turn the so-called law upside down. They'll just go inside and turn it, flip it the other side. They say, oh, they disqualified whatever case about Shetima. You say, no, the one that they did in the other state and this one is not the same because this one is political. This one is what did they say? This one is for the political party. This one is for the, how did they even say? I can't even explain what they're saying because it doesn't even make sense to me.
Well, you have to be a criminal to think in that line. So don't try to explain what the criminal.
They say, no, this one is when they were doing party primary. Then this one is when they are doing like what? Your law is really blind. It doesn't have sense as well. It's not only blind, it doesn't have sense. So we're saying the constitutional crisis we have just entered because they're carrying on with their inauguration, trying to inaugurate somebody that following their own constitution should not even be there in the first place. So it's an unconstitutional candidate, it's an unconstitutional president, but they're wobbling together and moving ahead. They are leading themselves by themselves. Constitutional crisis by defying the so-called 1999 constitution. So on May 29, like they've already started, you see them bringing people and speaking, and then Monday they will finish it up. That thing they're doing, they are defying the 1999 constitution. Both the executive and the judiciary, they are defying it. They are defying it. And you know what? Where they are landing the so-called union, Araba terminus. Araba is to your tent, O Israel. The transitioning process that Ninas is proposing is an alternative to the chaos that will ensue. They are smart, praising themselves. Oh, we have managed. Yes, we are not. You see, we are not in chaos. You see us. We are not in chaos. We are okay. We do build. My people say when the grass hopper is burning the hand and the leg, you'll be saying, yes, I'm quenching their fire. I'm quenching their fire. The 2023 election ended in logjam. Tell yourself the truth. And the only way out of it is for you to go into transition now so that we can reconfigure the union. You see the diminutive where we are now, because the election has suffered logjam. We told them it will suffer logjam. If you continue, it will suffer logjam. That means there won't be any outcome that will be constitutional from it. And it has happened. And as a result, the inauguration they're going for, they're going to bring the constitution down. That's what they're doing. If you defy the constitution, you brought it down. That means any other person can defy it and do whatever they want to do. So that is going to hit the union by themselves. You just see somebody, they waka, they kill himself by himself. All we can do is tell you, okay, this is the outcome. This is the result of what you are doing by yourself. And we say, when the annals of Nigeria are open, what will be the content of your page? You that you're listening to us today. You that you have been watching us. You that say, I know who Tony is. For 20 years, Tony has been talking about constitution. You know that the constitution is the problem, but you're looking for a way to wangle. The people did not make the constitution. Even the constitutional arrangement is not in favor of the owners of the land, of the indigenous people. It is not their project. The union you have is not the project. Everything is fraud. But you want to build on top of fraud. And you think that if you continue to build on fraud, one day the fraud will turn around and now become truth. That's not going to happen. Freedom comes by the right struggle and right strategy. We keep telling people, obedient people, oh, freedom comes by struggle. It's not like that. It has to be the right struggle with right information and right strategy. If not, you go in circles like your fathers, like in South Africa. The same thing that is happening to us happened to them. For about 50 years, they were going in struggle, until Oliver Tambo and Nelson Mandela, two lawyers, looked and understood it was the constitution, it was the apartheid constitution, and they shifted the struggle to now be about pulling down the constitution. And for 28 years, they were at that work. And 1990, the success yielded the success that the people wanted, and the apartheid constitution was brought down. The 1999 constitution is worse than that apartheid constitution, and we are saying it has to go down. It will go down. Somebody will say, what are the practical steps we need to take right now? You listening to us, you working with us, because people are saying, what can I do? What can I do? Where we are now is mobilization and preparation for the multi-regional referendums. Multi-regional referendums. We are not saying referendum that fake Nigeria will conduct for you. I heard one, these pastors, they don't hear word. You don't know. You don't want to be told that you don't know so that you learn. They want to talk to our people. They want to influence our people and talk to them. Yet they're as ill-informed as anything. I heard one pastor saying that it's Nigerian PVC that we used to do the referendum we are talking about. Stop lying, pastor. You don't know. You don't know. Why don't you just step out from what you don't know? Or at least calm down and learn. That's why we're doing all these videos. So that anybody that wants to be informed will sit down, watch, and learn. Stop spoiling what we are doing. And they know the danger of what you're doing. You are claiming that you love the people. But if you keep giving them wrong information, they will not be free and they will be dying. And that's your God will require the blood of the people from you and your family members. I hope you'll be ready to pay for the damages when the time comes. Keep your mouth shut if you don't know what is being said. We said, go and begin to prepare your people, mobilize your people through town hall meetings, printing of flyers, anything you can do. The way you people did obedience. Some will say, oh, Ninas is not telling us. You have heard the message. The way you were doing, did anybody pay you to do obedience? Go and carry the same thing that you are doing PVC revolution. You saw a fake information, you ran with it. Now they've been giving you the right, run with it. The devil blocked your ear. The devil that wants you to die blocked your ear. There's another video that you should watch, apart from the ones that we're making. Ninas has a video on YouTube, Nigeria in Distress, the Ninas transitioning template. Go watch it, you learn more. Another video is modalities for the transition proposed by Ninas, force majeure. So look for it so that you equip yourself. We don't want you to come and say things that you don't know. That you're a reverend or priest doesn't mean that you are now a lawyer, a jurist, you're a doctor, you are this. No, you have to express, teach, because the Bible that are teaching our people is making our people not to be very, like, be critical in their reasoning. So I don't know the one that they are good at, but they're telling our people, equip yourself. Don't wait for this, your pastors and priests and bishops and archbishops. No, don't wait for them. They are already in the judgment section. What God will do to them and those their fake churches, they will know next time not to deceive the people. I'll stop here, my dear.
Thank you, my sister. One famous guy said that for those of you about to see your ancestors when they do whatever they do on,
I salute you.
I salute you.
Famous in a negative way because he's a criminal.
For the famous criminal that
Famous for this, yes.
told you, go there. But if you decide to die, our ancestors dispute. We want you commission impose 99 unitary constitution. And of course, the express commitment to shelve further election, which you guys saw and now is shamming and is going to sham even more on Monday, on the 29th. What day is it? 29th? Yeah, Monday. So that you guys will see that when you leave what God has given to you, you were given light and you chose to go with darkness, get ready to bear the consequences. And then an invitation to the constituent peoples of Nigeria to work out modalities for transitioning arrangement. All these things are written down for you step by step as to where we need to get to our destination. So if you know that constitution is a problem, you don't know the 5-point proposition to get us out of the constitutional crisis, then you haven't started. And last but not least, announcement of a time-bound two-stage transitioning process, which shall in the first stage feature multi-regional referendums by which the component constituents shall recommit or opt out of Nigerian Union, and in the second, distinct terms of union as may be dictated by the outcome of the referendums. So basically, we allow for multi-regional referendums to take place depending on what is the outcome of it. Then we'll move forward from the outcome of the Constitution. All right. So as we told you guys last week, we cannot end the show without shining spotlight on the wisdom of our ancestors. We keep having these things, this communication, call it whatever you want, about how smart our ancestors are, and we feel it, right? Because we are their children. We see how smart we are. We see how much we move forward, even when we are being kept in a slave camp. Even when we know that the world is against us, we continue to shine. So there's something in our DNA that is activating that level of should I call it commitment on our behalf to be the greatest. So today we as usual want to talk about this because our ancestors are brilliant. We want to highlight their radiance of their ingenuity. We want to celebrate their ingenuity, of course. We want to illuminate the part that they pay for our progress. We want to honor their innovations, and we want to shine the spotlights. And last but not least, we want to pay homage. So today we are going to talk about marriage. Sister P is so well versed in all of this because our people are now confused about what marriage is all about. That's why our brothers and sisters cannot manage a wife and 2 kids when our forefathers, our ancestors were able to marry 7 women and keep them somewhat happy. And now we can't even do one wife, and 2 children. So we are here to separate what the church has been telling you about what marriage, because marriage has fallen apart, and we know a lot of it has to deal with church. They will lie to you about you, just bringing up your emotions, and I mean everything. So we want to go back and let you guys know how our forefathers were able to do it and do it beautifully. So Sister Kwi, carry on.
Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you. Because, like you said, when something you're doing is not working, you want to go and re-examine like what was happening. And we hear people saying, "Oh, before our marriages used to last, now they don't last anymore." That. We want to look to give you some ideas of some of the things that our people sat down to do. So in Igbo culture, that we are from Igbo nation, so that's why we know Igbo culture. Other people will have their own, and even in Igbo culture, these things vary a little bit, but it's basically the same thing. So marriage in Igbo land is a very honorable institution. They do not play with it. This institution is guided by equity, fairness, and justice. That is one more emebuna one madu. One madu emebuna one more. That is, do not destroy the spirit, do not destroy humans. Ndo azu, ndo mmiri. That means preserve water, preserve the fish that lives inside the water. So equity and balance, we don't play with it in our culture as Ndi Igbo. So, and marriage is one of the institutions where that plays out. So why do they have marriage? For companionship and continuation of family lineage and inheritance. It is through marriage that we inherit. We inherit from generation to generation. That's how we get our lands and this thing passed on to us. And then why is for protection of both and stability of both the parents and the children. We want a stable society. Our ancestors wanted a stable society where both parents and children are taken care of. They are protected and there's stability so that they can live their life in fulfillment, not just living any type of life and everybody just doing whatever they feel like doing. No, they wanted that stability, both for the parents and the children that will be given birth to. We are telling you about marriage in our culture. Marriage in Igbo land is kind of a blood covenant. I will explain to you. It's usually between a male and a female. What is a covenant? Like an agreement. When you have an agreement, you have exchange of gifts. Those that study law, you go and find out how do they have agreement and covenant. You don't have covenant or agreement except there's exchange of gifts to show as a sign of that covenant and that agreement. And that is why we have bride price. That bride price, we are not selling the woman, is a token, is a sign of an agreement. And then we use goats a lot. We use goats a lot in our marriage. We don't use sheep. We use goats, and it's for a reason. We use about 5 goats, 3 young goats, and 2 adult goats. They play a significant role in the marriage in Igbo land. The young ones, the baby ones, you have 2 female goats and 1 male goat. These goats are meant to be raised because they represent life. They represent life. We don't play with life. So it's an exchange that representing that what we're doing is an exchange that will bring life and prosperity. So we want to represent with goats. The 2 goats, the 2 female goats, one, the lady that is being married, we go with it to her husband's house and raise it. When that woman finishes living and dies, there's something that Igbo people do, that you're returning the corpse of the woman where you got her from, where you married her from. You're not taking the physical corpse, it's that goat. So you are going to use an adult goat, female goat, back to go and tell her people, this woman died. This is the goat we took when we married her, and that goat is now big, is an adult. We are returning life back to you. We took life from you. We are returning life. Is a symbol. And then the other goat, the other small female goat, goes to where the mother of the woman came from. The mother of the woman being married, he goes there and they will raise that goat in that family. Then the he goat, the small he goat, goes to the first son of the bride's family. He is going to raise that he goat. we are talking about life. Our people are so wise in everything they're doing. Now, the big goat, 2 big goats I told you. One must be a male big goat. The umunna of the woman is called eweze. They will kill it. Of course, the blood will be inside the land. We don't eat blood in Igbo land because we believe that life is in the blood. So we can't eat the meat and eat the life of the animal. We return the life to the soil. We open the ground and put it inside there. You eat the meat. So when we are putting down its life, we are returning where it came from. It's symbol. So the Umu Ada will be part of this, eating this goat, because the waste of the goat belongs to Umu Ada. You don't touch it. If you dare touch it, you are in trouble. Umu Ada will show you pepper. Umu Ada are the daughters of the land. So then the other goats, there's what we call Ebu Atunyemma. You're going to give it to the in-laws that came. You will kill it. So 2 goats. One will be for the lady's family, and one will be for the husband's family. You kill it, prepare it, everything will be complete. And they will cross-check. When they come to marry, they will cross-check to see that every part. You see, it builds trust between 2 families, which is taking me to the next point when we talk about that the marriage in Igbo land is something for the whole community. It's not just one person. So I've not told you the first one, male and female. Then in another setting, of course, if you go to about bride price, because we tell people that some of the things we do come from the Bible. That Bible you're reading, it was not written by the white man. For those that are born in Bible, you're just ignorant. The record in the Bible is the culture. If you go to Leviticus, is the culture of Igbo people. You go there, study it, and Deuteronomy, you will see our culture recorded there. Our ancestors wrote those books. Of course, some people confiscated them and took them away. That's why the practice there is the same thing. So Genesis 24, 53, 54, you will hear about bride price and the importance of it. I hear one lawyer saying, oh, no, we don't want to do bride price because we want to be like Oyibo. Please stop that. You want to go and steal somebody's daughter and run away. Imagine you. So the marriage can be between male and female. There's another one that can be between a male and females, which we call polygamy. Yes, polygamy is allowed in Igbo culture. It's not like when people say, oh, Africa is only polygamy. No. We have more monogamy family marriages. But in certain situations, we have polygamy. And I will tell you, and it's usually with the consent of the first wife. You don't do it because you want to punish her or deal with her. Or no. It's within reason. Like I told you from beginning, marriage is about equity, fairness, and justice. So in the case of polygamy, is to solve social problems. It is not to undermine or demean the woman. No. For instance, when a woman is infertile, now, like what happened in Genesis 16, 2-3, where you have somebody else coming to help. But now we don't do that much again because medicine has gone, technology in medicine. We have that now. So we have surrogacy, we have so many things, IVF and all that to take care of infertility. But we're telling you how our ancestors handled this social problem. That a woman did not give birth, our ancestors will not send her out of her husband's house. No, it does not end the marriage. Rather, something else will be done to make her comfortable. So now we also have adoption. People go and adopt. So that is how they solve that problem. Then another problem that could be is, in those days, it was the era of agriculture. So people need more people that will go to farm. So you see our fathers, ancestors marry many wives so they give birth to many children to take care of their lands and all that. But now it's no more applicable because we have moved from that era of agriculture to technology and science and all other things. Then another thing is to continue the lineage. Another time that you can have polygamy is when they want to continue or protect the lineage or protect the widow of a dead relation. Like what happened in Ruth 3:4. That is so, but now we don't do that anymore because women get empowered now. They can protect themselves. We have law that will protect them and all that. So that was why they did that. Another reason why they did that. Then female Another one is female with protracted incapacitating illness that is affecting them, that are not able to carry out their duty as mother or wife. That is when polygamy might come in. Like we told you, the woman will be herself to choose who will come and help her and assist her because she wants to keep her family. She's still in charge of her family. So a woman is just coming to come and assist. That's why it's not to undermine her. Then another place is sometimes there might be reason to divorce a woman actually, because marriage in Igbo land is not a trap where everybody, if you enter, then that's over. There might be a need to divorce a woman, but the man might say, oh, this woman already has children and I don't want to send her, and then the children are not taken care of. Instead, he will marry another woman that will treat him the way he wants to be treated, but he will continue to take care of that woman and her children because something happened and they're not able to do whatever. So ideally, in a foreign land, they will just divorce the woman and go away. But Africa and our ancestors will not do that. They will rather take care of the woman and the children, even when they marry whoever they want to marry. Then there's another type of marriage that is between an elderly childless widow and another younger female, like a lady that is now in menopause that cannot give birth anymore, because we're talking about marriage and inheritance. So she's acting on behalf of her late husband. She's acting in proxy. She's not just like some people say, oh, lesbianism is in Igbo culture. Women marry women. No. The woman is married herself. That she wasn't able to have children, bear children for her husband, and her husband is late. Now she goes in proxy because her husband's umunna will go with her on that journey. It's a ceremony, it's something that we do. Like we said, some of these things, they put them in place to solve social problems. And then we said that marriage in Igbo land involves families, kings, kindreds, clans, communities, towns. Women are like ambassadors of their family to another place. That is where when they want to marry, they want to get a good family. They will ask questions. We call it Idwese, to make sure that you're going to a family that is a good one for your son. You cannot unjustly annul marriage by yourself, one person. Maybe one man will just wake up and say, no, I send you out. No, if you do that, your own umunna will say, we are not going with you. You're not going to send that woman away anyhow. They will even go and bring the woman home. If you are living in Lagos or abroad, anywhere, they will say, the woman, come, we'll take care of you. The land that is supposed to be for the husband, they will give it to that woman and her children and say, stay here, build house, stay. Don't mind your husband, he's crazy. Because it's about equity and justice. The death of a male or the old woman that we talked about that was acting on behalf of her late husband does not annul marriage in Igbo. It's not until death do us part. No, that's not Igbo culture. Death does not part us. Because that marriage came with children, and we told you that our marriage, in our marriage, we inherit through our marriage. So you have already inherited, you are living in the ancestral land of your husband. So if he dies, death is not parting you. You are living in that land, raising children, and you are moving on with that lineage. It's only if you want to go that the woman can decide to go. So just that your husband died doesn't mean that it's over. Unlike people in the West, they say, you're no more Mrs., you are Miss. In Igbo culture, a married woman is a married woman. Even if her husband died, she's married because I told you that it's family between two families. So she's answering her husband's name. She's still in that husband family. She's living there. Her children are there. She will die there and they will bury her there. She's not going anywhere because her husband died. And if you go to Genesis 38 verse 8, you see something like that. So divorce is possible in Igbo land, in Igbo marriage, when maybe due to irreconcilable differences. And even when that divorce happens, because some Christians will say, oh, God hates divorce, but God, the same God committing atrocity, when your marriage is even already an abomination before God, is the divorce God hates. We don't do that. It's not our culture. There's something that can happen. We have some points, up to 3 points I can give you, that people will say, okay, this marriage cannot go on anymore. We need to annul it. It is possible. It's not a trap. Once you enter, then bam, that's over for you. No. And even when that happens, If the woman had children in that family, when the children grow up and get their inheritance from their father, do you know they can go and bring their mother to live in their house if they want? Is a balance. Igbo culture is a balanced culture. We don't have bastard in our land. We don't have, oh, this, that's why they're doing all this DNA, whatever. Every child has a father. It might not be biological, but it will be your father to take care of you and give you that stability. Igbo culture is beautiful, and we want to promote the good parts and improve on the bad ones. Thank you very much.
Whoa, thank you, Sister Kwi. I learned so much there about the goats. My goodness, I didn't even know it was that deep. So thank you so much. Wow, this is so informative. We're going to try to break down this marriage parts so that people can also get the information and share it amongst each other. Like we said, our ancestors are brilliant. They know how to handle problems. It's just that they came, and the terrorist colonial masters, they came, and we thought that, and then they came with children, so they came, we thought they are there to just hang out and do business. We didn't know they had other agendas. So you can see from this story today, our brother Dioris, I want to learn more. Yes, brother, we plan to shine the spotlight on our ancestors' ingenuity every week. And if you have anything that you know about your ancestors you want to share, please let us know. If you're willing to come on live and share it, we will allow you that minute to come and share the spotlight on your ancestors. So it's not just about just our ancestors, it's all about all our African ancestors. So if you want to share that information, please, we are willing to let you come on board. But this is exciting. Siteki, thank you so much for that information. I can imagine. I heard that my grandmother refuses to work in the farmland. She will be smoking her up because they say she smokes and keep her area clean, sweeping her ground and making sure she doesn't like footstep on her land, and people will actually come and do it for her. And she refused to go to the farm. So imagine if she's your wife, and she doesn't want she doesn't want to go to the farm, and you're going to kill her. She has other things going. So and my grandfather married so many wives, so I can see how he'd be like, okay, wife, here, you do your own thing. These ones are willing to go to the farms, and then we'll go on. So thank you for that informative part. We definitely learned a lot today. All right, so state your position. We are done. Here we are in this time of our lives that we are trying to get something done. We're trying to build an inheritance for our children. We need you to state your position in history so that when the time comes, you'll actually be able to sit down and tell your children and be proud and tell your children and children what you have done to get this process done. So thank you so much. We will see you guys next week. Continue to help us to share and like and subscribe and all those fancy things that we need to do. But otherwise, we've enjoyed today's section, and if you have, help us to share and get the information across to our people. Thank you so much. Bye.